Spotlight on America has been investigating a widespread risk on the shelves of pharmacies rooted in the production of drugs in India. But there's a vulnerable population in the U.S. that has already felt the consequences: cancer patients. Lisa Fletcher takes us inside how our nation's reliance on Indian chemotherapy drugs could be hurting patients.
Getting cancer is terrifying. Not knowing if you can trust the drugs used to treat you is even worse. Most cancer treatments rely on generic drugs, and the U.S. is heavily dependent on those made in India. New research reveals some of them are incorrectly made and even dangerous.
We found products that had less than half of the amount of medicine that they were supposed to contain.
Professor Marya Lieberman's team at Notre Dame tested more than 180 cancer drug samples made by 17 companies, 16 in India. Roughly 1 in 5 failed basic standards, some with too little medicine, others with far too much.
It's a battle between killing the cancer and killing the patient. So if the dose is too high, then you're damaging the patient unnecessarily. If the dose is too low, then it may fail to treat the cancer.
One manufacturer, Venus Remedies, produced a lymphoma and breast cancer drug for markets outside the U.S. that failed every test, with 6 of 8 samples containing less than half the active ingredient. We discovered Venus is currently engaging with the FDA, positioning products for the American market. Already a key player in the U.S., Intis, the maker of critical cancer drugs, including cisplatin, which failed 1 out of 4 times in Lieberman's tests to contain the correct dose of the active ingredient, something pediatric oncologist Yoram Ungaru thinks about every time he treats a child.
The quality issues are tremendous. It's great to have a drug, but if the drug does not meet the standards that are required, it's not only not good, it oftentimes could be bad. And there are plenty of examples when tainted drugs of poor quality and inferior quality, including chemotherapy for children, have been used.
And if factories are shut down for problems, the fallout is immediate. Nationwide shortages of life-saving cancer drugs leave families with few choices, like Abby Bray, who faced 3 shortages during her cancer treatment.
Any patient being told the words that my 9-year-old had to hear is not okay. And then my 9-year-old asked me, "What does this mean?" She said, "Well, do I die?" No one had an answer for her. Right? I didn't have an answer.
The worst recent shortage tied back to Intis. FDA inspectors documented a cascade of failure, including a worker dumping acid into a trash bin to destroy test records. The plant was closed, and supplies of vital chemotherapy drugs vanished from U.S. hospitals. Intis Pharmaceuticals did not respond to our requests for comment.
In a situation like cancer, we don't have alternatives for the overwhelming majority of these diseases. I cannot just swap out cisplatin for paclitaxel or cisplatin for mitomycin. It doesn't work like that.
What do you tell parents?
Well, you tell them the truth, and you tell them that these are grueling, excruciating situations.
A choice no one should face: bad drugs or none at all, in a global system built to put profit over patients. Intis Pharmaceuticals did not respond to multiple requests for comment. We should note that Abby Bray, the little girl you met in that story, is doing well. Her mom became an advocate for other families after fighting to get Abby the drugs she needed. Still, the supply chain issues remain. So, how do we fix it? It's a complicated conversation, and we had it with Dr. Marty Makary, the chief of the FDA. In our next report, the promises he's making, along with moves from Senator Rick Scott to fix this once and for all. For Spotlight on America, I'm Lisa Fletcher.